Hello world, this is ComputerHeat, here to bring you another fabulous Company of Heroes 2 shoutcast. I don't have a co-caster today, and I'm bringing a game that I found on the COH2.org replay section. And this seems like it's probably a pretty good one, and it hasn't been getting a lot of attention. This is a game between Once Over and Jove, and both of them are top 10 players with their respective factions. Jove is playing as the OKW on the west here in Kolodny Winter, and on the right we got Once Over playing as the US. And since I'm just here all by my lonesome, we're going to unpause it right now. And you can see right away that Once Over is getting his... Oh, he's picked the Airborne Commander, and he's getting a squad of riflemen. And we'll click over here on the left side and see what Jove is doing. Now, Jove, we can slowly mouse over here and see what he's got available to him. Just getting a squad of Volksgrenadiers, we're not going to see a double Stern Pioneer opening. Now, Jove is not a player that I know particularly well. Once Over, I know that he's, I think he played in every single qualifying round for Sunday Night Fight Season 5. He's a player from England. He's quite good. And I forgot to look it up, but I believe he's in the top 5 with USF at the moment. And you see him putting down some barbed wire right here already with his first rear echelon squad. Recently, some of you may have seen the guide. Oh no, I guess you would not have seen it yet because we're waiting for the artwork to finish up before it can get published. But Jezelin's guide should be coming out, God, I don't know, any minute now, on how to play this map. I know that he believes that it's a bit of a Allied favored map nowadays, and you know, we'll see how this plays out. If it does go, in fact, in the Allies' favor. So we have our first little engagement over here by this house. Back, I remember when houses were really strong. This house was always such a huge pain in the ass to deal with. But now, not quite so bad as you can actually damage units in houses. And despite all this barbed wire here, Once Over is getting pushed off, and his squads are getting pushed around by Jove's SWS supply half track. And Once Over decides that staying out in the open, taking damage is not a good idea, so he'll just hop in the church. Over on the right side, Once Over has managed to capture this point, and the riflemen actually seem to be winning against these Volksgrenadiers. Granted, they only have 3 windows to shoot out of. They should be in the better cover. But Once Over is about to have both fuels captured, but obviously he's only connected to one of them. Let's click over and see what else he's doing. So he's got his 3 squads of riflemen, and 3 squads of riflemen in the rear echelon squad, and it doesn't look like anything else in particular. Doesn't have enough fuel to tech yet, unsurprisingly. And this half track is kind of in a dangerous spot. If any of Once Over's riflemen had Vet 1 and could use an AT grenade, it would certainly go down here, but it looks like it's going to move the back way without taking too much damage. And Jove decides to pull his Volksgrenadiers off of capping duty to help out with the squad in the house, which has taken quite a lot of damage and a few casualties to deal with these riflemen. Now, I think we're going to see a little bit of truck pushing right here. Some people call this a dirty trick. I actually don't agree with that, but I'm used to things like Jeep pushing and bike pushing from the first Company of Heroes game, where that was, you know, I don't know if some people would disagree and say it wasn't a legitimate tactic, but it was certainly, ooh, yes, and all the riflemen have to retreat up from the top, but they managed to hold on to the fuel for a long time. But down at the bottom we can see that the fuel's gotten disconnected by, I believe that's the Stern Pioneer squad. Yes, it is. And now Once Over is not connected to any of the high resource points. And this is not the fight that these rear echelon troops want to have. Well, they're actually doing decently, not taking too much damage, but, you know, at the same time, they're not really doing any damage to these Volksgrenadiers from Jove. At the base, we can see the lieutenant is almost finished, and I'm really curious to see what Once Over chooses to do with that. If he's going to go the, you know, kind of standard, the sort of standard, get a flak half track, drive it around backwards, and try to kill and suppress everything with that, or if he's going to go with something a little different. I'd like to see these riflemen also back out away from the line of sight or just get out of range of these Sturm Pioneers. Make the Sturm Pioneers come to them, or they'll have, you know, by far the advantage. We see an M20 building for once over. We'll click over to Jove quickly, see what he's doing. See that he's building his tier 2. Yeah, I'm gonna call that tier 2 in his base. He's picked breakthrough and gotten a Sturm officer. Very interesting. Really like to see where this is gonna go. Man, these are some brave rear echelon troops. So once over, curious, does he have grenades or anything like that? No, he doesn't, so he's just going to try to surround this house, do damage at it from range. But these riflemen down at the south are not faring too well. These ones at the top should do just fine. You can see that the Volksgrenadiers are actually shooting from all angles over here, and those Volksgrenadiers in the south were chased off by the lieutenant. Let's take a quick look at the tactical map, try to get an overview. And these riflemen are getting surrounded and just cut down by 2 squads of Volksgrenadiers. Yeah, one thing that can be really difficult as US really in the game is to get units out of houses, and we're seeing that here right now with the trouble that Once Over is having with this particular house. The lieutenant's going to be able to come over and just essentially get free damage from sitting on this side, although I imagine some of these Volksgrenadiers are going to shift over and start shooting at them. Yep, there they go, teleporting inside the building. Still, the Volksgrenadier does do a lot of damage, and we got our first squad of Panzer Fusiliers upgraded to the G43s, and yeah, the lieutenant doesn't stand a chance against them. He needs to just retreat. Oh, don't get killed. He's still in a dangerous spot. Now the M20, almost completely unopposed right now. It'd be good if he can get the upgraded side skirts just to have a little bit better defense against small arms fire, but the he's not really going to face any particular dangers except for the Panzer Fusiliers, who have an AT rifle grenade that they can use to blow out his engine. Now, I wish I knew a little bit more about the kind of some details about the buffs that the Panzer, oh, god damn it, what is he called? The officer gives to the nearby units. I know that he's got this target them ability, which will just dramatically increase the amount of damage that the selected squad takes. And ooh, this rifle squad probably will escape. There it does, but you never know what those G43s are going to do at long range. We see a Puma almost completed now from Jove, and that is going to easily deal with the vehicles that we have from Once Over. And oh, this is an interesting move. It's like Once Over jumped out, swapped out his rear echelon squad for the now Vet 1 vehicle crew. So they do have a bazooka, which will let them fight this this Puma decently. We'll go back over to Once Over and see if he is purchasing any other kind of tech, like a captain. Does not look like it. He nearly has enough fuel. He has enough right now. He can get the captain if he so chooses, so just keep an eye on that. We'll see what he does back to. The Puma's all, or, excuse me, the utility car is all repaired, but yeah, this vehicle crew should get out now while they still have the chance. Get in one shot on the Puma, but they just need to run back to base, and off they go. These rather badly damaged Panzer Fusiliers, plus the Puma managed to chase off Once Over's riflemen from the top. But we see that he's called in a squad of Paratroopers. We'll see where they're landing. Right up here. He doesn't have enough munitions to be able to upgrade them to the really awesome light machine gun that they have available to them. I don't imagine he's going to get the Thompsons. Although, I mean, they do very good close range damage, but at the moment, the way that weapon damage works, it's just a better choice to get something that causes long range damage every single time. Light machine guns on your Grenadiers, the 1916 A6 machine gun, or whatever it's called for the Americans. This Puma is just dancing around this mine, which I believe will kill it at this state, and in fact it does. So Jove can't be too happy about that, although he has managed to take most of the map, which is pretty crucial when playing against an American player to cut him off from his fuel. I have the feeling, um, you know, the American players really seem to rely a lot more on their fuel in the early game to get out their tech and get the good units that they have available to them, while an OKW player can do just fine by choking out the other player and relying more on manpower and maybe and a smaller amount of fuel. Get up one tech building, two tech buildings. Obviously their vehicles are very strong, but I would say that early on it's probably a better idea to just try to choke out the US player, keep him from getting fuel, and you'll end up in a stronger position. Oh, big grenade from these Volksgrenadiers on this lieutenant, but the lieutenant is still stronger than them. He may get the kill, but we're going to cut back here to the middle and try to watch this fight. You can see that Once Over has, in fact, chosen to upgrade with the Browning LMGs. And he's going to discover this battle group headquarters over here. I don't think he has anything that can really deal with it. He's got these this M20 utility crew, but they're not going to be able to get over to this point by the time this is ready. You know, Once Over actually could jump these guys, could have gotten these guys out, canceled the LMG upgrade and put a demo charge on that, and maybe been able to kill it. I know it causes double damage while these are setting up, but he needs to be careful with these paratroopers. Yep, he pulls them out, and he looks like he's just going to retreat them back to base. See, the battle group headquarters is up, but it's already lost half of its health. Now this is a bad time for Once Over. With the Blizzard in, he's not going to be able to use any of his abilities as from his company. That said, I thought he was building his major. Thought I detected a large expenditure of fuel, but apparently not. Not a whole lot of reason for this vehicle crew to be sitting up in here. M20 is going to drive around, do a little bit of harassing. We've already seen it do some good work just with its mines, which are very, very powerful, as we saw. I think not quite as powerful as a Teller mine, but similar in function. And they do, as we saw, do a lot of damage. Looks like the rifleman may try to recapture this point, or maybe he'll pop out the crew from the M20. We see not a whole lot going on tech-wise from Once Over right now, and we'll just quickly click over to Jove in that case and see what he's doing. He has his tier 1 up, and he's got his tier 2. Which, looks like he's got the munitions transfer going right now, so perhaps he's just trying to save up and get some Panzer Shreks. He doesn't have a whole lot of munitions. You can see he's only got 19. And now we'll get to really see what these paratroopers can do. Big shot in. Once Over is quick to pop the smoke. Well, not particularly quick, but he does pop the smoke and manages to get out of there. Oh. The Volksgrenadier goes down to the cold rather than the lieutenant. That's... well, it's not up to me to say if something is embarrassing. That's up to the person to whom it occurs. But not particularly good. Looks like Once Over might be about to start... Yes, he is starting to lose riflemen to the cold as well. Some people like blizzards. I've not ever particularly been a fan of them. When they were first announced that they were going to be in this game, I just thought, I don't know, doesn't seem like a particularly great idea. Man, paratroopers just getting ripped to shreds over here. They got to retreat, and they still could go down if these G43s catch them. That was even without the use of any of the Sturm officer's abilities. That also could have been the reason for Jove choosing to go for munitions transfer, but now we can see they switched over to go for fuel transfer. Makes me wonder if he's going to try to save up just to get this juicy Jagdtiger, but that's still a long way off, both in terms of CPs and fuel. Oh, this guy doesn't know that he's dead yet. He's just hopping up and down in place. That squad did get destroyed, and now I think that Once Over is completely without anti-tank. Nope, see that he has gotten himself an anti-tank gun. I don't believe he has his captain, so he must have called that in through a paradrop. Oh, I didn't hear the plane go overhead. He's got his major, and we'll see what he chooses to do with that. Major set up his forward retreat point, so maybe we'll see the ambulance come set up behind this building where it'll be safe. Lieutenant has to run quite a nasty gauntlet. Could easily go down to one of these squads in the house, but it looks like he is going to make it. Down here we've got another fight between riflemen standing in red cover. Wow, a lot of Shrek snipes this game against the Volksgrenadiers in green cover, easily pushing them off. Here comes the utility car to try to turn the fight into the favor of once over. Now that these Panzer Fusiliers are out, they can put in a little bit of some damage on this utility car, which still doesn't have armored skirts. I'm surprised to see that. I mean, he's been doing a good job of keeping it alive, but you know, as the game progresses, he's really going to need that if he wants the M20 to last throughout the game. I'd like to see him lay a few more mines. It looks like that's exactly what he's going to do right now. A Raketenwerfer to help deal with this light vehicle, but it's actually, you know, we're almost 16 minutes into this game. There's nothing bigger than not been anything bigger than a Puma or an M20, which is kind of unusual and, to be honest, kind of refreshing as well. Oh, riflemen just get tore up. Will they manage to make it out of there? Just barely escaped. That's some pro luck from once over. Looks like we may have another fight up at the top, so we'll just quickly tick up there. See the lieutenant against these Volksgrenadiers, and looks like the M20 is moving over to help him out as well. He doesn't want to end up getting caught by this Raketenwerfer and a rifle grenade. Grenade from the paratroopers doesn't do a whole lot of damage, and now they just need to retreat. Their health is dropping down so quickly. They're going to start losing men very fast. They lose another one on retreat, and this Volksgrenadier squad managed to get out without too much trouble. So the lieutenant has kind of been relegated to peripheral capping duty, which a bit of a surprise. And the captain is, or excuse me, the lieutenant is great anti-infantry. But oh, we're getting a. I'm finally going to call this the right name, Jagdpanzer from Jove. That will be quite a bit more than he needs to deal with once over's infantry, but I don't know if he's noticed a major yet. If he has, he should expect that there'll be vehicles on the way, and there is an M8A1 coming towards him. So the Sturmoffizier, for players who don't know this already, I think is just 3 regular grenadiers or some such, plus this one officer unit in amongst them. And if the officer gets killed, not only can you not use the abilities of the squad, but it'll cause all nearby infantry to retreat. So you have to be, I mean, you provide some really strong offensive buffs, but you have to be very careful to keep them alive. That's something that I imagine players who like to use snipers will be able to take good advantage of, because the sniper will actually target the individual man that you shoot at. If you click on an individual unit, it will shoot at that particular man, rather than just at, you know, randomly picking from one in the squad. So the Jagdpanzer with a really awesome skin is rearing its ugly head, just in time to be able to deal with this M8A1. The M8A1 is something that can be a real headache for a lot of players. We saw in a 2v2 that Kilrathi Soldier and I casted with Omi and Corporal Shepard playing as the allies, and Corporal Shepard just had quite a few M8A1s, and they were a real nightmare for the Axis players. I don't think it's going to be particularly safe for once over to spam them the way that was happening in that game. But no, to spam 2, 3 at a time. See what he does with it. But yeah, when he's doing these direct shots the way it is right now, oh man, these Volksgrenadiers should really throw a grenade. They do throw a grenade, and I can't tell if once over canceled the mine. I believe that he did, had that gone off while the Volksgrenadiers were sitting or while the M20 was sitting there, it would have certainly gotten destroyed. And we'll have a quick look over at the attack map, just to get an overview of what's happening. Panzer Fusiliers in green cover fighting the paratroopers in no cover. They could try to use the suppressing fire ability, but with them all nicely clumped up in that green cover, it's not really going to be work. See, once over's getting another squad of paratroopers, but let's quickly go over to Jove and see what he is doing. Nothing in particular yet, as far as I can see. Now we can see the paratroopers dropping in. I haven't noticed, perhaps if someone who does know if this is the case, they can leave a comment to this video. I haven't noticed if the paratroopers can get shot down the way that they could in the first game, where if you dropped some paratroopers next to an Ostwind or a Panzer Elite armored car, for example, they could get killed before they even hit the ground. M8A1 starting to engage these the battle group headquarters position. That is, you know, the real danger of putting it up in a forward position. You can either get killed by some attack ground using AT guns, or you can lose it just to some kind of indirect fire. Rakettenwerfer is setting up, but I believe it's out of range. It is, in fact, out of range. And now it's starting to get shot at. Jagdpanzer's moving over. And I don't know if Once Over senses that or what, but he pulls out. Quickly go back over to Once Over. So, apart from the few mines that he's been laying down in this AT gun, he doesn't really have a whole lot in the form of anti-tank power. At the same time, there's not really a whole lot for him to fight. There's this Jagdpanzer, but that's mostly just to counter what he's got. Now, this is the kind of position where the M8A1 really shines, where it can just do these direct fire shots at the enemy. It can fire in kind of the flat trajectory, the way it was just doing, or it can fire in an arcing trajectory where it will, for example, go over this building. And for whatever reason, when it fires in the flat trajectory, it tends to get a lot more kills. I mean, you can see it when it happens too. The projectile goes much more quickly to the destination, so it's, I think, more likely to hit, just because the target will still be there. See the AT gun starting to do damage to this Jagdpanzer. And these Volksgrenadiers are in danger of going down. They're Vet 5. You really don't want to lose them. You should probably get them out of the house before it goes down to some kind of stray artillery shot. Oh, that chattering sound from the machine gun of those paratroopers just sounds so nice. See that Jove has gotten his squad out just in time, right as he gets them out. The house goes down. I believe Once Over is just using attack ground to shoot towards. Now he's using Stay Alert, Fog of War. Looks like he probably could see where that Jagdpanzer was. I believe we just had a squad of riflemen go down. Yep. Now near the top. The second squad of paratroopers chases off the Rakettenwerfer as they manage to capture up some more of the points. This howitzer carriage, it's only got 3 kills, but you probably expect that to change a bit. Then we can see that Once Over is getting himself a Jackson. That's a very good piece of anti-tank right there. Together with the AT gun, he should be pretty safe until... he should be pretty safe from any kind of charging tanks. But Jove has gotten himself a walking Stuka, and we can see it setting up right now. Here it comes, and I imagine it's going to fall around here somewhere. Oh, damn! Holy wow. That hurt. AT gun destroyed, church destroyed. I'm sorry, I've forgotten what was in there, but I'm sure whoever is watching this can just, you know, click back, pause, and see what it was that was killed in there. That was a brutal shot. Very smart move by Jove to get that walking Stuka. Now the M20 is in trouble as the Jagdpanzer moves up, but it looks like it's going to be able to scoot around, and he can always pop smoke just to cover his escape even more. Will he in fact do that? No, doesn't look like it. At the same time, we can see once-overs cutting off the top part of the map from Jove, who is now down to just, he controls one VP, so he's not losing victory points too fast. The VPs are actually, they're quite close right now, and he's just got one territory right here by his battle group headquarters. He'll soon have this middle munitions point, which is very important, and he's going to start capturing a couple of his other positions. Not sure what these Volksgrenadiers are doing. Now, let's have a look, see how many kills that got. 6 kills just in that one barrage. Honestly, it seemed like a lot more than that. In fact, it may be miscalculating how many kills it got, because it caused the AT gun to get destroyed. I don't know if that will make the, I don't know if that counts as kills for the unit that destroyed the AT gun. Another little fight right here. Jagdpanzer contributing, I suppose, after a fashion. Now the Sturmoffizier, oh no, he doesn't have enough munitions, so he could use a forced retreat, but he doesn't even need to. Lieutenant goes down. The Sturm Pioneers and the officer should really just back away right now. Volksgrenadier squad gets badly threatened somehow. Oh, okay, that was the M20 that just blew up. Vet 5 Panzer Fusiliers, those are going to be some strong dudes. And looks like once-over's trying to sneak the Jackson into the base to try to catch the walking Stuka. This is, oh my god, Jove doesn't even know about it until right now. One big hit, this thing is dead for sure. And let's see that nice pretty explosion. Oh no, it's changing its targeting priorities. No, turn. Hit the walking Stuka. The walking Stuka is trying to escape behind the repair truck. Something has died from Joe, but I don't have time to look and try to figure out what it is as he drives in circles around his mechanized regiment headquarters and tries to move his Jagdpanzer into a position where he can kill the Jackson, and he does manage to kill the Jackson. Jackson's pretty safe, but this supply half-track gets killed by the paratroopers. That's probably not going to be a particularly big deal for... Danger! Close fire from the walking Stuka kills a paratrooper squad, and the other one retreats after they finish capping this point. That was quite a crazy sequence of events. Let's turn the fog of war off again and try to figure out what state these armies are in right now. We still have, it must have been the Sturm Pioneers. They got killed for, Jove. Now we'll go over to once-over. He's replacing his lost paratrooper squad. He's down. His army's quite small right now. He doesn't have any riflemen left. He lost his lieutenant. He has his major. He's got his M8A1, but he lost all of his other vehicles. He lost his Jackson. He lost... Target destroyed. What got destroyed? Looks like... No, those are paratroopers. Looks like a Panzer Fusilier squad got killed by the M8A1. We can click over back to Jove and see if he still has 2. Not sure what died. But, yeah, once-over's in dire straits right now. He's rebuilding his Jackson. The M8A1 still doing a ton of work. He's got 15 kills. Oh, make that 19 kills. And may cause... does cause the Vet 5 Panzer Fusiliers to get killed as Jove uses Force Retreat to send off this this squad right here. That's such a cool ability. I'm glad they brought that back a little bit more. This is always funny to see the rear echelon squad with 5 men. So at least, although the M20 went down, that once-over was able to save them. Now once-over's in a funny position. He's got lots of fuel, but his manpower is just bled hard by all the losses that he's taken recently, having to call in all sorts of new paratrooper squads. Just losing so much stuff here. The walking Stuka going in. Where is that coming down? Perhaps over by the ambulance. Major retreats. Major is killed. The ambulance is killed. Oh my god. That walking Stuka is a beast. Alright, M8A1, what do you got? You need to be the savior of this army. Paratroopers and the M8A1 chase off both of these Volksgrenadiers from the squad of the top, but, you know, sticking in that fight's totally not worth it for Jove, and he knows that. He's managed to decap this point, but what's he going to do? Lose one squad just to take a territory point that's quickly going to go back into Once-Over's hands? So Once-Over's got his new Jackson, for what it's worth, and we'll go over to Jove and see what he's got. Strong army. He did lose that very, very good Vet 5 Panzer Fusilier. He's got himself a new one, and we'll see if he upgrades that to the G43s once they're in range. Ooh, big hit from the Jackson. If it keeps moving, he may be able to finish off the Jagdpanzer. It's got great penetration on the Jackson, but this is a quick unit, the Jagdpanzer. And the Rakettenwerfer is setting up. Looks like the Jackson does manage to get the kill, but will he be able to escape with his life? Or is he going to press the attack and try to finish off the walking Stuka? Don't think it's a particularly good idea. He'll probably get killed by the base emplacements if he does do that. Once-Over is moving up, you know. This really dangerous position. Oh, what a nasty hit. Okay, where's this M8A1? There you are. Doing its flat trajectory shots in, each one killing 1 or 2 men. He doesn't want to get that too close, because he can take a lot of damage from from the Panzer Shreks. Good God. Down here in the south, oh, these Panzer Grenadiers are in a great spot to get in the what? Are they using the rifle grenade? Looks like they attempted to, but it either didn't fire or this got out of range before he was able to finish pulling the trigger. Volksgrenadiers may try to set up in some kind of ambush position behind a line of sight blocker, turn on the fog of war, and see what Once-Over is able to see. So he has no idea that they're there. Once-Over in control of one of the VPs, but let's turn the fog of war off. Right now, he's still in a really dangerous spot. Click over to Jove, or click over to Once-Over, see what else he's trying to work on. He has himself a 3rd squad of paratroopers, plus this Jackson, plus the M8A1 and the rear echelon squad. Really not a whole lot more than that. He hasn't rebuilt his AT grenade, or his AT gun. He could drop one now if he chose, considering he hasn't had a captain at all this entire game. That's what he would need to do to get that out. I'm wondering if he shouldn't consider getting a machine gun to help deal with all of the infantry that he's facing. Granted, the walking Stuka will be able to finish that off quickly, and that may be the reason he hasn't done that, whereas the walking Stuka firing, so you're coming down towards the middle. These paratroopers retreating. Oh no, friendly fire! Not too bad, but that was a really unnecessary loss. And this M8A1 is easily going to be able to chase off these squads up here. They really just need to retreat. Perhaps Jove hasn't noticed. He seems to notice now, or possibly we just saw the officer get killed and forced this one squad to retreat. A 4th squad of paratroopers is now coming in for Once-Over. And he does have enough munitions, I believe, or he will have enough munitions by the time they all touch down, to upgrade them to light machine guns as well, but you know, his army is pretty one-dimensional. Jove has not made his tier 4. He doesn't really have the fuel with which to do it. He's getting a Puma. I wonder... Getting Obersoldaten maybe doesn't make a whole lot of sense, considering how many Panzer Fusiliers he has, and those are very good at killing infantry. And the Lukes is not going to do well against the Jackson. But, you know, it could be good at holding the periphery, stopping any of these flanking squads, and together with his other AT, could do decently. Jackson getting hit by Rakettenwerfer fire, but it looks like these paratroopers from Once-Over are using the... Oh, they're not using the suppression fire ability. That's interesting. So more fighting around battle group headquarters, which should favor the Axis players and still be able to heal, but it looks like all of his medics are dead. Oh, there they are. Getting work in. Rakettenwerfer's cleared. Probably doesn't want to recrew that right now. Where's the walking Stuka if that's in position to fire? This would be a good time to do it. Just drops him right across the line. Not seeing any of that kind of activity. Just paratroopers sitting. Well, these guys aren't in cover, and that's why they're getting cut down. Joe, if you really wanted to, could force retreat some of these squads. It looks like Once Over might actually be moving up to try to steal the Rakettenwerfer, but now he's lost too many men to be able to do that. And you see this Vet 5 Volksgrenadier squad trying to move in, see if they can do... Oh, was that... Oh, I thought I saw the papers flying around from the force retreat ability, but no. Wow, those paratroopers. Brave. Stuck in there for a long time, did a ton of damage, and here come the reinforcements. Now, Once Over's got himself a squad of Pathfinders, putting up quite a few of the Pathfinder beacons. Grenades, trading places. Oh, could this... Oh, looks like that paratrooper squad's going to be okay, but nice to see the Panzerwerfer firing again. So these beacons in place, Once Over is going to be able to pull off that kind of attack again, while also keeping up his reinforcement at the same time. So, you know, interesting choice. Let's see who wins this fight. I'm pretty sure the paratroopers will win handily. It looks like a grenade is going to go in on top of these paratroopers if they ever finally pull the trigger. Here it goes. Pow. Nice hit. Well, we are looking at Jove, and we'll quickly have a look over Once Over and see what he's up to. He's got his 4 squads of paratroopers, his 2 vehicles. That hasn't changed. He's still in quite a bad manpower hole. I mean, he needs to save up his manpower, but I guess he feels he also needs to keep attacking. Jove really hasn't been doing a whole lot of attacking. It's more just been counter pushes once Over has charged into his lines and sort of exhausted himself and forced to retreat. Then Jove will sort of roll forward and occupy the territory that Once Over was holding. Once Over has managed to get himself a nice big chunk of the map back. He's got the entire bottom half, and he also controls his, we'll say his side. He's got 2 BPs, so that will be going in his favor. That's one advantage of having these cheap and otherwise kind of useless rear echelon squads. I should say useless for this particular match. So you can just task them to run around the map and capture where the fighting is not occurring. While we can see that Joe is using his Panzer Fusiliers to do the same job since he doesn't have an equivalent cheap infantry. Panzer Fusiliers put up a flare. I imagine he's doing that to scout for the walking Stuka, and here come the rockets. That's a clever attack. Very lucky paratrooper squads just have all the rockets sail almost harmlessly over their heads. But see how they do against these Panzer Fusiliers. They're in rather bad position. The Panzer Fusiliers are engaging them at long range, which suits them. We can see paratroopers falling out of the sky, reinforcing, getting shot, and immediately forced to retreat. Ooh, nasty shots in the M8A1. These paratroopers, drop their machine gun and retreat. Let's see if Joe's Volksgrenadiers have enough weapon slots to be able to pick that up. And then we'll click up to the top, where I believe a Puma is about to take on these squads up here. Now, these guys don't really have any kind of anti-tank, per se. So, I mean, if Jove is feeling ballsy, he could just drive his Puma on top of them and let the let the coaxial machine gun do a bit of damage. Off goes the Storm Officer again. Really, you know, hasn't been getting a whole lot done. I suppose he could function as the back capping unit, but you know, if Jove gets in a position where he has a lot of munitions, he's not using either of his transfer abilities, which he sort of needs fuel and munitions, so I can understand that. This is a really nice fight by these Panzer Fusiliers, easily chasing off both of these squads. But these paratroopers are going to send them packing. Off they go. Not sure if they detected that beacon. It looks like it's lit up, so they must have. And Puma possibly serving as bait for... Yes, I believe that is the case. We see a anti-tank grenade going in here. Or not. Looks like it did go in, but it deflected off the front. And now the Puma, together with the Volksgrenadiers, maybe not going to be able to finish off this Jackson. They do scare it away, however, and do quite a bit of damage to the Paratrooper squad. So, a win in its own regard. Yeah, this is a bit too much of a fight for the Volksgrenadiers, and they have to back away. Jove. This is a good position for him to use his walking Stuka again, but it's a bit far out of range. Jackson taking a shot on the Puma. I am not actually sure which one has superior range in this fight. The walking Stuka's moving. Let's see if it's gonna, if this fight will last long enough for it to contribute. Down the south, we can see the once-over's got some squads moving in to capture off some of the south side of the map. Looks like a squad of paratroopers. And here comes the walking Stuka as all of Jove's infantry is forced to retreat. That was an interesting shot. I don't know that actually really did anything. Jove's Panzer Fusiliers have managed to take the top of the map, but they're getting shot at by this M8A1, which, given a little bit of time and a little bit of luck, will finish them off without taking any damage itself. Once over is making another attack. Ooh! Trying to make another attack over here on the headquarters, but they get force retreated. Very nice use of the Panzer, the Storm Officer, although I think using a bit of the target them could be, well, at the very least, could be fun to see. Once over, I was saying before, he's a good player. He's got excellent micro, so he's making full use of swapping out squads and keeping his tanks repaired by getting them out, by getting the crews out. So we have a fight over here in the middle. This is probably not going to go very well for the Allies. While up the top, looks like Jove has decided to concentrate his forces on this weak set of units in the middle and ignore the top for now. See the walking Stuka getting ready to fire. Not sure those shots are going in. Perhaps he's going to try to catch these squads in retreat. He does. Oh my god, that was a beautiful Stuka shot there. Managed to catch all of them on retreat and destroy one of the beacons as well. I mean, that's no great loss, but if Once Over wants to make any more beacons, he's going to need to get himself another squad of Pathfinders. We see the stun ability, well, not stun, what is that ability called? The gun jam ability used on the Puma. Although the gun was actually facing the correct direction. Down goes the Jackson. Once Over continues to be in dire straits. Man, this M8A1's got 40 kills. Getting a ton of work done. Once Over's getting another Jackson, which I think is a smart idea. Pretty big grenade from these. Ooh! Grenade goes in from these paratroopers. Kind of doesn't get any kills, but these are high vet units, so I believe they actually take reduced damage. I'm not sure about that though. Anyway, Volksgrenadier vet is mostly about keeping them alive than giving them offensive bonuses. We'll click over this squad down here and see what in fact that does. Yeah, so we can see they did get some offensive buffs in addition to defensive buffs. Walking Stuka firing again. It's nice doing this while wearing headphones. I can tell where the rockets are going just due to the stereo effect. Once over, I don't want to say he's in an unwinnable position, but he's about as close to an unwinnable position as you can have. Oh, down goes the that rear echelon squad that had been alive from the beginning of the game goes down to these two squads of Panzer Fusiliers. And this heroic M8A1 is just trying to stop this VP harassment. These two Pumas are going to make short work of him, particularly if Jove can get some of his infantry up there to damage the engine and just provide other additional nuisances. Another fight going on here at the bottom. The paratroopers easily push off the Volksgrenadiers. These paratroopers are strong units, particularly with this light machine gun, and they're actually near another beacon, so they are able to reinforce, we can see. But I think there's just too much for them to deal with, I think. Here come the Pumas. They may try to come in and get the kill on a couple of these squads. There is a Jackson over here, but Jackson against two Pumas is not a particularly great fight. It needs to kite them for a very long time, and I don't think it's going to be able to do that. In fact, I'm not even sure if it can kite them because of their speed, and I think they may have equivalent range. There goes one shot, does a ton of damage. The Puma is backing out. And once over is being cautious with this Jackson, which is a good idea. Looks like he's getting a Sherman right now. He doesn't have enough munitions to use, for example, the Rocket Strike. Although, yeah, Rocket Strike is a real hit or miss ability. I've seen it do, miraculous things, but then at other times do really nothing at all, or even kill my own units if they're garrisoned in a building nearby that gets hit by a stray rocket. Another bad spot for these rifles to be in. Are we going to see Jove use, for example, the focus them ability? He does have enough munitions to do it. If he does it now, he might be able to kill them even if they retreat. Looks like they're going to retreat and probably make it away without incident. They do lose one man, but looks like they're going to be safe. Here comes the Sherman. Now, the Sherman plus Jackson against the multiple Pumas. I'm not actually sure who wins that. This may be getting into kind of an even position now. For lots of Panzer Shreks. That's not good. Yeah, if he's taking unnecessary damage like that, then this Jackson is not going to be able to contribute to the fight. Puma sitting in the back getting repaired. Other Puma is over here. Looks like it's fully repaired. Once over, this may be his last hurrah. He needs to keep these vehicles alive so that his infantry can get in positions to capture VPs. But, oh my god. M8A1 is doing just brilliant work here. Killing units left and right. Hasn't wiped anything, but these paratroopers are also going to be able to do quite a lot of damage as well. Not sure where his other infantry is. He's going to need to move up to help support him. M8A1 actually doing a decent chunk of damage to this Puma with just a parabolic shot coming in. We've got two Shermans now, and the Jackson is ready as well. He could do a nice sweep of the units over here. And once over is trying to take the middle VP as he's losing the one at the bottom to just a squad of Panzer Fusiliers. I think once over is going to be trying to focus on killing this Raketenwerfer. Is he going to be able to move out of the way of this rocket strike? He is. Here comes the Puma up at the top. We have one Puma fighting against many other units. The Raketenwerfer probably going to go down here, but force retreat is used on the paratroopers before they're actually able to clear the Raketenwerfer. Now there's the question of once over. Do I move in now, try to get the kill, or is he too organized and do I have the time to be able to come back again? I think he may just want to wait a little bit longer before trying to move in, not overcommit, get his vehicles damaged, which is what's happening right now. This Sherman getting shot at by these Volksgrenadiers. This is free damage he's giving. And he's going to need all of his units together to make an attack that'll kill off a couple of kill off some of the critical units from Jove. Now we can see once over's army, and we'll look over at Jove's right now. Now we can see the focus them ability used from from the Sturm Officer, but the Sturm Officer himself gets killed, and that causes a retreat on all of the infantry over there in the middle. That's going to allow an opportunity for Once Over to come in with his tanks, which he's doing right now. The Rakettenwerfer is down. That's not going to be able to contribute to the fight. We got the 2 Shermans plus the M8A1 and the Jackson. 1 Puma goes down. The second Puma is going to go down in short order if Once Over decides to push the attack. Looks like he's going to content himself with taking the VPs and trying to focus down some more infantry. We have a new Puma building, but if Once Over is able to repair his units, it's going to be more rocket fire coming in, but for one of the very few times it's actually a little ineffective. This Sherman's moving up, getting shot at by this 1 Puma. He should really probably just pull out of there. He's going to start taking rear armor shots now, but maybe he'll be able to disappear into the blizzard. He really needs to get out. Panzerschreck squad's moving up. The Pumas are going to be able to close in for the kill. His other tanks are being kind of group repaired at the moment, and it looks like this Sherman is going to escape, but I see a Puma moving after it. Jackson is in a position to intercept, however, if it gets too bold. Oh boy, Once Over is making quite a great comeback right here. His army's still small, and it looks like he's gotten himself another vehicle. Oh, that's a vehicle crew, not a rear echelon squad. And we can see that Once Over's decided that what he really needs to invest in is vehicles right now. He's got his 2 squads of paratroopers, but he's not going to be getting any more of those, it looks like. He's getting himself another Sherman, so that he'll have 3 Shermans plus a Jackson and an M8A1. This house finally goes down. And Jove, how is he doing? If he figures out what's going on, he's actually in quite a bad position map control wise. I was going to say that he should turn on his focus munitions ability and try to get the Jagdtiger, but there's no way he's going to be able to get that anytime soon. He has barely half of the... What the hell is that? He has barely half of the fuel that he needs. Jackson coming down out of the fog. Is it going to be enough? Here comes another Sherman. Jackson getting shot at in the rear from these Volksgrenadiers. And this Puma just doesn't know what to do, doesn't know where to go. He pops smoke to try to make his escape. Down goes the Jackson. Will the Puma be able to disappear through the smoke, or he's going to try to recommit to the fight? Multiple Panzerschrecks going in on the rear armor of this Sherman as the paratroopers try to support, and they're just doing terrible damage to these units. Sherman goes out of control as all of the units fall back from Jove. Down goes the Sherman. Paratroopers moving up in the middle. There's still actually excellent map control from Once Over, and this match doesn't look like it's necessarily over yet. 2 Shermans up at the top. I hear rockets coming in from the walking Stuka, but the paratroopers managed to escape from there without taking too many casualties. Up at the top, Shermans rolling back down. If they can keep at a distance, they ought to be fine, and the Panzer Fusiliers won't be able to get an AT grenade on them, so he just needs to start slowly walking these tanks back. He doesn't want to get a damage engine on this one, or it will probably go down. Jove is investing in another Puma, we see, and this Puma is back getting repaired over at the repair truck. And that new Puma is now out. The M8A1, 55 kills. 56 kills as it and the Sherman clear this Rakettenwerfer. And once Over's decided, okay, enough of this Rocket and Verif, it's time to just kill this thing. And that should go down to attack move before too long. The two Pumas are moving up now, and the two of them together should be able to take on either one of these tanks, no problem. Once Over is getting another Sherman. The Jacksons had been doing quite well for him, but getting shot at from long range over here. These Pumas, I believe, are able to outrange the Sherman. I know that the Wehrmacht Puma is able to outrange a T-34, for example. We have the stun, I'm just going to call it the stun ability, used by one of these Pumas. This one nearly gets killed by a stray shot from the M8A1. Is it going to be able to escape? No, it isn't. It's killed by the M8A1, and this Puma will probably also go down. Main gun destroyed. It pops smoke to try to escape, but gets killed by the top gunner. This is quite a dire situation now for Jove. His army is beginning to collapse a little bit. Switch over and see what he has. Just lots and lots of damage going in from these. Oh my god, his infantry is just disappearing. There's grenades from these 43 killed paratroopers, not to mention the M8A1 doing damage as well. But this one squad trying to hide back here as it's taking damage from the M8A1. If Once Over can chase these squads off, yeah, this battle group headquarters is certainly going down. Down it goes. No more forward reinforcing, no more healing for any of his units. And Jove throws in the towel. I guess he's decided that he's lost too much, and you know, if that's his calculation, I think I have to agree with him. That was an amazing comeback by Once Over. Investing in the tanks, I think, was a pretty good choice, but man, his army got a little one-dimensional at the end. But he had all the tools that he needed to fight the army that he was facing. These Panzer Fusiliers eventually, you know, once the Shermans came out, they're good in complementation with the other units that you have, but I think this game really just came down to how the players use their units. It wasn't a build order win at all. So, man, this is a replay that I pulled off the COH2.org replay section, and whoa, I'm very pleased to have found this one. I'm going to be real, the last couple of games of the cast are a bit disappointing. A couple of 2v2s that kind of turned into a bit of Maxim spam from a Soviet player, and then just generally uninspired German play in response for the most part. But this was a lot of fun to cast. I believe it was Once Over who posted this replay, and we've had one of his games on before, and that one was really good if I remember correctly. So yeah, Once Over, he's a name to watch for. I know that he plays in a lot of the tournaments, and with the ESL Cups coming up in the near future, you know, he's going to be a player to watch out for in the European divisions. Jove, like I said, he's not a player I know too well, but we saw a lot of really good play from him in this game too. You know, I thought for a while he just had Once Over by the ass, but it just all seemed to slip away right there at the end. And yeah, Computer Heat here, bringing you another shoutcast. Please, if you know of any good replays, send them my way. The email address is computerheatCOH@gmail.com, or you can PM them to me at the at COH2.org. I'm always on the lookout for good games. And now I gotta get off for the rest of my day, so I hope that all of you have a wonderful day as well. And bye-bye, folks.